What if the real problem with modern dating isn't a lack of love, but a loss of order? Welcome to Black Love Dialogue and Wine, a private podcast experience for those serious about love, marriage, and legacy. This isn't surface level romance. These are intentional conversations reclaiming the strongest love ever known, Black love. In today's dating culture, we've normalized trauma bonding and calling it commitment. We've romanticized love while forgetting marriage was built for legacy before feelings. At Black Love Dialogue, we restore balance, honoring love and structure, emotion and purpose. If you're seeking love, strengthening it, or preparing for marriage, this private experience gives you the mindset and resources to build lasting pair bonds. This private Zoom takes place 8 p.m. Eastern, last Sundays of the month. So get your tickets on eventbrite.com and bring your flash so we can toast and deep dive into legacy before love, featuring therapists Makaya Dominguez, Marilyn Odwini, mental health advocate Chris James, and award-winning relationship coaches Fala Antoine, Derrick Sinsear Clark, and Vaughn the Love Alchemist with over 35 years of marriage. Hey man, we got a serious cast, bro. We not playing with this Black Love Dialogue. Sunday night, 8 p.m., January the 25th. We are bringing people a solution. If you're serious about love, marriage, and legacy, we got a solution. It's called the Black Love Dialogue and Wine private podcast experience. Thank you, Sinsear, for doing this thing one more time with us. We're letting people know what we doing. This is serious work. We're calling it a podcast, but it's really a private Zoom where they can participate. So for these promotions, they just watch us. When you join us for the private podcast, you can be part of it. So thank you again, Sinsear, for doing this with me. I ain't gonna keep you long today, but just want to give people just a little example of what it looks like in the private podcast. But the difference is they'll be able to interact and give their, as I like to say on Mental Dialogue, give their 3 cents and also ask experts like you questions, because I really look up to you, and I highlighted when we introduced you that you're the author of the 30 Love Laws, you're a holistic relationship coach, you're my marriage counselor. And so I just wanted to kind of dig in that a little bit before we look at a couple of clips, man. So, it's a lot of matter of fact, you always highlighted within so many months, you're responsible for a number of actual successful Black marriages. So can you speak to those numbers with the work that you've been doing real quick before we look at some clips?
Oh man, absolutely, man. Most notably, the brother that's on here, Chris James. When I met him, he was single, right? So I will say this. Now he boastfully speaks of being happily married. They have a beautiful son, and they were able to sit down with my wife and I, and really get into what love and marriage looks like. So some of the most powerful, amazing men and women here in Atlanta have sat down with my wife and I, and we've really gotten into this work to really unpack what marriage is and how effective love can be if we truly understand it, right? It's not just unicorns and rainbows, right? It's also purpose and mission.
No, absolutely. I've jokingly told you, as me and my fiance are going through our process, I said, hey man, you say, hey, look, we'll start out with 4 sessions, and based on how it goes, we'll see if it needs to extend. And I foolishly thought, I was like, this is gonna be the easiest 4 sessions ever, man. The stuff you make us unpack. We're gonna have to add some more sessions, brother.
Man, that's it.
But that's why we're doing it. But that's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, family, get it right up front, right? Like, this is what I implore my brothers and sisters to do. Get it right up front. Y'all, it only takes once to do the work. And what do I mean about doing the work? Foundation, building your foundation properly so you can build that mansion of a marriage on top of that thing. That's what we're doing.
Hey, get off this internet and getting little clips, these little short clips that you be like, oh, that looks good. I'm gonna apply that. You can't apply it because the brain is short circuited when you get in the clip. The 30-second clip. We're gonna play clips, but the difference on the private podcast, we're gonna deep dive. So, as a matter of fact, then we can quit telling y'all about it. Let's just play a clip so I can just see a little bit, because when you hear the extra context, that's my thing. and perspective. As a mental activist, that's my focus. Context and perspective helps people learn. So you see a clip and you be like, oh man, it's a good clip. Or I'll let my significant other see this clip. We're gonna deep dive on Black Love Dialogue. So here's an example of a clip, and y'all gonna get some other perspective about it versus just the clip, which the clip in itself will stand alone. But can you learn from just a 2-minute clip? That's the question. And we say you can't. That's why we're deep diving and going private with this thing. All right, with that said, let me play this clip and I'll let you respond to it. Sinsear, again, thank you for coming on.
50-50 doesn't work in a relationship because a woman can never feel safe. And if she never feels safe, she never drops into her feminine. And if she never drops into her feminine, then the magic of her heart and her essence never gets to embody you and the family. And that's what I think that most men don't really understand, is that the safer our women feel, the more free their magic and the magic of their feminine is to help us become who we are ultimately intended to become. So does 50-50 work? Yeah, if you are content with never reaching your highest self. But if it's your desire in life to reach your highest self, to allow your partner to reach her highest self, then you're going to have to look deep within yourself and ask, what is it I'm avoiding from taking full responsibility, so much so that she can drop into her feminine? And as a result, what would be the gift available to me when that happens for her?
Mm-hmm. So that's Danny Morrell. We use a lot of his clips. As you said the last time you were on here, Black Love, truth come in all colors. So let's keep that in. Let's start there first, right? It's the Black Love Dialogue, but hey, truth come in all colors. And it's not that we agree with the clips. It's just so that we can do a deeper dive. And Sinsear, I think you are one of the best people to speak to the 50-50 conversation in a way that, again, if you're on the internet watching it, it's, I got you. Or you can look at that. You ain't this or you ain't do that. Nah, that ain't how we talking about it. So what's your thoughts? Let me say this real quick before, just as a thought. I remember I was in my early 40s. I'm 52 now, but I was in my early 40s when I first came to realize that just the number itself, the 50-50 concept, when I finally came to realize it wasn't fair to women. What I mean is, I grown up with women that's what they did. And I've seen, in a sense, successful relationships do it. But it wasn't until I was in my early 40s that I came to understand how it wasn't fair based on our natural differences. Now, I'm not jumping all the way to 100 to 0. That's not what I'm saying when I say I realize it's not fair. But in reality, based on our natural, who we are as masculine and feminine people, that natural complement, I would offer he's right in a sense, and I'm pretty sure you could deep dive better than me. And I'm just talking about just what she has to do at 50-50. You got to, if you could take something off, she could drop more in the feminine. That's how I look at it. But go ahead, brother.
So I actually love what you're saying, and I love how he positioned the premise, right? However, I want us to consider this. Relationships are both 100-100 and 50-50, right? This is what I mean. So the relationship itself has 100%. It's one thing, right? It's just this ball of goodness. It's this ball of love that both of you are responsible for. So it's the relationship identity, and that's ideal. Now, will the 50-50 happen? Generally speaking, no. But that's optimal, meaning that there's give and take at 50-50. The take, that's the feminine principle. The give, that's the masculine principle. And both men and women have both the feminine and the masculine principle. So that's the idea that the relationship has to have give and take. Now, it's just what I said. Will that be 50-50? No, that's optimal, right? So what if she doesn't have a job, or she loses her job, or you lose your job, right? So that's going to be ratcheted up a bit. Now, individually, it's optimal that you show up as 100-100. Will that happen? Generally speaking, no. But that's optimal, right? So in the spirit space, right? So what I mean is a holistic relationship coach. I deal with things spiritually, mentally, and physically, right? And spirit simply means breath. Everything that lives, moves, and has its being breathes. So that's vibrational frequency. So the vibration of love needs to have those two things optimally. This is an ideological approach to a thing that needs our attention, both individually and as an entity that is giving to a union and receiving from a union.
Ah, I love it. And again, if you was on the podcast with us, the Zoom with us, you can ask more questions. So I'm gonna keep this thing moving. Again, we're just giving y'all a little example, and this ain't the real example. This is a bite size because y'all can't participate out there. Right? I got the like, appreciate the like out there, but for the private Zoom, matter of fact, let me put up the actual banner real quick. This is how you get your tickets. If y'all know Brother Sinsear, where everybody around Atlanta know Brother Sinsear. So when you go on that thing, if you know Brother Sinsear, go get a ticket under his name. If you know me, go put a ticket under his name, Derrick Sinsear Clark. Black Love Dialogue, Eventbrite. Let's do one more clip, man, and get you out of here, so get you back to your peoples and queen. All right, let's do one more. This one was, this is on a podcast. I'm gonna say this to kind of preset it. David Shands, I'm a big fan of him, but this is on a podcast. When I look at this situation, I'm like this need to be in a room with Sinsear. This shouldn't be on a podcast for everybody to see. Like you're gonna see that what I'm talking about. This sister sincerely breaks down in a way. I'm like, I don't know. See, this is what I mean. Sometimes public ain't the place for things. Sometimes I'm not talking. I love David Shan, so I'm not talking about him specifically. But I think I'm giving you a little pretext. I think you'll see what I'm talking about.
Does it affect you today in any way that you can recognize, that you can pinpoint? Does it affect you today in any way that you can recognize, that you can pinpoint?
Yeah, I don't trust people easily. I really have to give my husband his props because like he recognizes like my triggers. Like he just don't get mad like that. It's like he can almost tell like if it's something that's triggering me, and he always tell me like I don't blame you for certain stuff, as far as how you respond or how you think about certain stuff. He was like, I blame your parents. Like I know where it come from.
You single-handedly helped me figure out a good portion of the issues in my marriage just now.
How?
As you're talking, and I never even looked at it this way, that my wife has triggers. I never looked at it as a trigger, but when certain things happen or I say certain things, she takes it to heart. And it's like, I can't understand why you feel the way you feel about what I said, because what I'm saying isn't out the box. It's not crazy, but there are certain things that are triggers, and I know certain things that I am going to say that are going to hurt her. But you telling me that your husband recognizes your triggers and doesn't look at it as you are like she's a nut, and she'd tell her friends I'm a nut too. But it's not you. It's something that has happened to you that caused you to look at this situation in this way. So after this, I'm going to apologize to my wife. And I'm going to handle it with more care.
So I love the clip.
Oh, that's good.
Because that's what a deep dive, that's the kind of deep dives that I am not sure, and why we need this in modern times, why you need the Black Love Dialogue and Wine podcast, is because that's the unexpected. And her husband obviously was great to be able to detach something that's triggering from her childhood wound and detach it from her. Like most of the times we ain't able to do that. Because we don't even know. We're taking it like we're seeing it. That reaction from that person is happening right now, and it feels inappropriate, and it might even be inappropriate. But we're not realizing they're not always reacting to, like David Shan saying, why are you taking what I'm saying this way? Because his wife is reacting to something else. So we're here about childhood triggers and childhood wounds in current times on the internet. But the help to do something with it ain't just simply hearing about it. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man, that was so big, man. And I'd seen that before because one of my client families sent it to me. Right. So I'm like, yeah, this is good. Right. And this is why that's so good. Right. We are a part of each other's healing process. When we choose a person to build a life with, we are a part of their traumas as well as their healing at that point. So we either pour kerosene or gasoline on the trauma, or we can be that blanket to help to put it out. Right. And we have to choose throughout our duration of the relationship which one we're going to be through our actions. Right. To be the safe space for one another. And literally, that's what we're signing up for as a husband or a wife, to be a safe space. Now, here's the thing. That requires a bit of individual healing as well, right? See, we can only start the healing process in a silo or in isolations because that teaches us what to pay attention to, but we can only finish the healing process in community. The simplest form of community is with your husband or your wife or the person that you call my person. Does that make sense, my brother?
As you say, like you tell us, makes so much sense. Like you said, only that other person can hold up the mirror for you to see the shadows that you could not see while siloed. You know, I've learned from, people like yourself, and I say it at that mental dialogue all the time. Again, not saying everybody has to be paired or wants to be paired, but for all of us who do, your highest height cannot be reached alone because you can't see your shadows on your own. And so if you don't, and I'm learning this as we speak, right? So I'm not acting like I'm an expert here, but I'm saying once you're in relation, you're going to find other parts based on something that your other person's doing. You're disliking it in them, but it's probably a concern you have that you've never seen. And that's why it bothers you. And if you don't know the difference between not directing it at them and going, why does it, like, if you never go, why does this bother me so, versus just saying to your other person, stop doing that, you never learn why it bothers you. Because at the end of the day, if it's not something that triggers you, or once you figure it out, that's the very thing that could be a deal breaker won't even bother you no more if you actually heal and deal with it. I'm going through it, not speaking from as an expert, but I'm going through it as we speak. Go ahead, brother.
And this is what I like to say to that, man, because that's a beautiful point, right? One of the worst things to happen is the coupling of the two words human and behavior, right? Okay. First, I want to be very clear. There is the human, and then there is the behavior.
Okay.
Those are not the same thing.
Them as though it's not
right. They couple it as though the human is their behavior. No, there's the human, and then there is the behavior. Right. So once we start to internalize it in that way, then we can make allowances and we can give grace. Right. And we can see the human. Like that's what the sister was talking about with her husband. He's seeing the human. Right.
Yes.
And then he's separating the trigger. Like, this is my wife. Yeah, this is my wife. This is my person. This is the human that I'm connected to, that I love. And then over here is the triggers and the thing that encourage behavior. And that's what's so beautiful about it. Once we can put a divide line between those two, now we're on track to making a better and deeper connection.
Now, I love it. And so this right here is a deep dialogue in itself. So imagine if you're out there watching right now, if what you just heard sounds beautiful and it makes sense, it don't sink in until you ask that question that you got on your mind right now. That's the difference. You're on the Zoom, then you can turn around and say, okay, Sinsear, I think I got it. But does it look like this? Or what if I do this? When you get curious, that's when you learn how to do it. That's the beauty of why Black Love Dialogue and why podcast is a solution to these issues out here, brother. Anything you want to close it out with, brother? Let them know how to follow you, any of that. Let's go ahead and hey, Sunday night, we're doing at 8 p.m., man. Get the word out, spread the word. We are a solution to these dating streets out here. We're getting off the streets, moving it private, and getting to the real deal, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say this. Whoever's watching and whoever's connected, share it. You are worthy of an amazing relationship. Now, just because you haven't been in one doesn't mean that you are not worthy of one, right? We get what we become. We get what we become. So that means tapping into. Some of my clients are some of the most amazing, highly educated folks that you ever find. But they have the least amount of education in how to make a proper and effective connection. That's what we're doing here with Black Love Dialogue, right? So this is going to be one of the best connections that you have had, because we're going to break it down and we're going to give you a blueprint and we're going to make it simple. But because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. Because it's simple does not mean that it's easy, right? So tap in and we're going to make it simple for you.
Nah,
all right. So Sinsear. A Sinsear, that's how you connect with me. Sinsear, 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 Sincere. That's IG and Facebook. So yeah, let's connect.
I'm gonna put it up on the banner real quick so people can get it real easy. Yeah, this is how you get with this brother. This brother is helping me out in the best ways. Let me see. Let me make sure it stay up there. I'm gonna add the banner so they can follow you easy. Tell me if I got it right. Did I get it right?
Yeah, it's the other way around.
I'm gonna respell it.
Sinsear.
Oh, I got it backwards. All right.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let me flip it, y'all. Give me a second. I want to make sure y'all get it right. I'm telling you, it's worth
there you go.
It's worth every penny. This brother worth every penny. I promise you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Matter of fact, speaking of pennies, on Friday I asked him. I said, "What's one of the best? I mean, what's one of the most important decisions you'll ever make?" And people saying, who you select as your husband or wife, and to have your children, right? And I said, "What is that worth to y'all?" One guy said $100,000. So did I get it right this time?
Yeah, that's it, brother. That's it.
Okay, cool. That's how you follow this brother. But he said worth $100,000. I said, "Well, shoot, man, we charging y'all $25 on Sunday. Get with us."
Man, that's it.
All right,
so
brother.
Listen, man.
Yep, there it
is.
It's
not cheap. It's not cheap to do this work with me, but anything that's valuable, we got to watch how we put the price tag on it, right? So just like I said, you're worthy of more, you're worthy of greater, and you're worthy, if you're in a good space, to keep it in a good space. Good space turns into great spaces when we invest.
I love it. Thank you, brother. We'll see you on Sunday night.
Peace.